Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Australia, and welcome to the Eating Plants Watch Party Australia. It's so great to be here after, 2.5 years in COVIDs and lockdowns and quite a journey. We're really pleased and really proud to have our Eating Plants series up and away and launching into the universe. I'm delighted to be here tonight to show you this new series, which is really the first of its kind, looking at the growth of the plant-based world across the globe. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. It's really great to have you here, and we're looking forward to the next little while and sharing it with you. I'm Kate Clare. I'm the co-creator of the series, and here with my partner Mick McIntyre, the other co-creator. And we're really delighted to have you here tonight because this is 25 years of us working on environmental films that look at celebrating the environment and really focusing on the great people who devote their lives to protecting it. And first off, let me tell you about the event. We've got this great crew here tonight who I'm going to introduce you to. We're here with actor, producer and screenwriter and host of the Australian episode, Martin Dingle Wall. Welcome, Marty. And chef, also vegan cake baker, that's quite a word, extraordinaire, Sarah Kidd. And me and Meg are going to be working on a Q&A. But first off, we're going to watch the Australian episode just to get you in the mood. And we hope you enjoy it. And we'll be back after we've done the Q&A. Then there'll be a chance for you to just sit back, have your popcorn, and enjoy the rest of the series. But right now, let's sit back and enjoy the first episode of Eating Plants Australia. Thank you so much. Welcome back, everyone, to the Q&A. And Marty, that was brilliant. What a champion you are. One of my favourite lines just then was, "This is what new food looks like." Just love that line. I just think it's, you got to taste lots of amazing things during that episode. Tell us about that.
Well, it's a funny thing just about that line. Of course, there's nothing about it that's new food, but when you take sort of a kitchen novice like me and invite me onto this countrywide journey and put me with some of the best in the world, and I have no knowledge beyond salt and pepper, maybe some nutritional yeast and tomato sauce, when I'm with these international master chefs, and they're like, flaxseed, nori. It's like, I know those things individually, and you become a mad scientist. You watch them just simplify this thing, and to me, that's where like, so 6 foot tall Australian guys can actually just like learn this in 30 seconds if we want to, and that's why I was like, this is all new. It's as old as time, but to me, it's new, and it's the buzz is it's cruelty free. It's all plant based, so just watching that back was really fun because I remember every moment of that, then tasting it and just being, dear God, how do you not, thank God you're learning a few things because your life enhances 500% by learning 5 new things. So it's all staggering.
Oh, that's fantastic. You were great. You're so warm and welcoming for all the characters. I think they obviously enjoyed teaching you things. Hey, Mick, what was the inspiration behind the series? Why did we make it?
I think it was pretty simple, really, because we were observing the growth every time we went into a supermarket. We witnessed what's going on in this field, and actually it was distributing our previous film, Kangaroo: A Love-Hate Story, where we really were, we got to meet a lot of people that were working in the plant-based movement who pointed out a number of things. And so we were actually researching it while we were distributing Kangaroo. And it was a really interesting film to research because you just have to Google, for example, you just have to Google the top, vegan countries in the world and bang, all this information comes up. And, from there, we just decided that this was worthy of a series, and then we had to scramble to keep up with the information and to keep up with the progress. I mean, my goodness, even in the 3-4 years that we've been making this series, it's just been crazy how fast it's growing, which of course we feel very fortunate because we feel like we're on the crest of a wave here, explaining this what does Marty say? This is what new food looks like, and so we feel like this series has come out at a really good time.
It was interesting because Marty had to learn how to make a cake from Sarah via the screen, not
Zoom.
only because they were in 2 different countries, but it was during a major pandemic. So not only did we start off the series just before a major pandemic came down, that caused us to have to be quite creative. Although, Sarah, you actually have continued to teach people across the world how to cook vegan things across. How do you think people are learning how to cook vegan things, and do you find that fun, and are they getting the hang of it?
Yes, I feel that just through my own personal experience that a lot of people are definitely interested to learn vegan baking online. One of those reasons is that there isn't a lot of vegan baking schools. Even when I started to get into vegan baking and trying to find someone to teach me how to do it, there was literally nothing nowhere. So I think the fact that this type of technology is available is really helping the movement expand at such a rapid rate. I mean, I teach vegan baking twice a month, and I also invite a chef onto my platform, and we teach people all over the world. So it's a great way to learn anything to do with veganism, especially baking. It's extra fun. Can I just quickly say, Marty, you're such a rock star. That was amazing. And Kate and Mick, that was beautiful. It was the first time I've seen it. It was so well cut together. I absolutely loved it. All those amazing, beautiful people. It was so nice. It was so lovely. Well done.
Throw it straight back to you. These two are the creatives, and this has got to be an editor's art, but there's no cake without the teacher, right?
True. Yeah. And you aced that cake, Marty.
Well, you look. Like I say, that's. I think we owe the editor a lot of gratitude for how well that turned out.
Thanks, Wayne.
Yeah, Wayne. That is the perfect time to give Wayne Hyatt a big plug, because yes, we ended up having 5 cameras on that day. So and Wayne did an amazing job, didn't he, to pull it all together and
He's such
thanks.
A legend.
He is a
What
legend.
A dude.
Wayne Hyatt, everyone, best editor in Australia. Thank you.
If I may, do you know what's great about, which has occurred to me now that I've seen that episode twice, is I learned more watching it back than I did actually doing it. So the show works, guys. I just watched it back and went, okay, I got to handle that. I can do that.
Yeah, well,
making fish out of eggplant. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Julie Jackson.
That was amazing, wasn't it? Yeah, thanks, Julie Jackson, for showing us how to do that. Yeah, so it's just worth pointing out that each of the 6 episodes, and if guys are sticking around to watch the other 5 after this Q&A, please do. But each of the episodes ends with a recipe, ends with a chef teaching us a recipe. So you've just seen Julie Jackson teach us the eggplant fish. Well, the other 5 episodes also have an awesome dish that you can learn by watching the episodes. And all those recipes are on our website, eatingplants.tv. And Kate, I don't know if you want to comment on how our cooking has improved after making this series, but I know that, there's some staples that we've now got thanks to filming these amazing chefs.
Yeah, that's right. I think one of the exciting things for chefs, and Sarah I know does a lot of research and development with her cooking, but chefs around the world are just really learning how to use a whole lot of new product, and they're learning how to take traditional food you'll see later in the series from their countries or from religious holidays and things, and veganizing them. And we're not missing out, as people say in the series too. You can eat literally everything and look at a new way of cooking. And we found that chefs were really delighted by the creativity they could have, because I think for a chef, there's a lot of rules. You come up from the ranks and you learn all the rules, how long you have to stir this for and cook that for and use that for. And in fact, they're recreating it. It's like renaissance in cooking right now because it's growing so fast. And Mick and I we were literally racing to keep up as the series came out. And I think that's one of the reasons why we made a series like we did, like this episode, was to literally teach people who are interested how to make vegan products. You know, people don't know how to make a vegan cake. They don't know how to make vegan fish. They don't know how to, none of us do really. So like Sabrina Frederick says in that episode, you just start off with your favorite food and then you improve. And it's made her an amazing, champion athlete, just learning how to eat well and fuel herself up. And Marty was saying earlier to us about how, being an actor, he's the lead in 2 series at the moment. And he also has to be like an elite athlete for those 2 series. Tell us about that.
But yeah, you need a recovery period to get back on deck for sure.
Tell us about that. Tell us about how a vegan diet helps you. How do you think a vegan diet helps you in your shows and keeps you kind of vital as an actor?
Yeah. Well, when we talked about that, it was like when you start a production, you're going to go for either a minimum a few weeks or a couple of months, and the schedule is like crossing timelines. You do night shoots, day shoots, and sometimes there's legal end times and start times, but also there's preparation time in there. So just having your faculties, your memory, your inner stamina, your physical grit to do the job. I'm 8 years into vegan lifestyle myself, and probably the most prolific and successful part of my life as an actor has been the 8 years. So I can make all kinds of different links to it. But I just want to arc back to when you approached, the merging plant-based living into your life bit by bit. That's the part that clicked for me, because I took one meal that I thought, was an Indian-based dal meal. One meal I thought, I want to get good at that because my son likes it. And when I just focused on, okay, what do I need to do here? All the mystery of it and all the challenge of it just evaporated, and I did it because you can do it. And he loved it, and I tasted it, and it's just like, oh, so I've got one. And then all of a sudden I was kind of jazzed about, well, now that one over there, I want to learn that one. So it's just inch by inch, one bit of Lego by the next. And now I've got like 4 meals under my belt, and I'm actually saving money because I don't have 30 different spices that I didn't know what to do with anyway. I've got 4, and they're all organic. And so like everything just kind of becomes more efficient. I mean, that's how the jams worked out for me anyway.
Yeah. Thanks, Marty. Sarah, the people are asking and are interested, do you think that you need lots of money to have a vegan diet, or do you think anybody can? How does it work?
Oh, what a great question. No, you absolutely don't need a lot of money. I mean, there's a lot of food that you're already eating that is vegan. Fruit, vegetables, rice, beans, most breads, plant milk. So I think that's something that people forget, is that most of their diet is vegan. You're pretty much just taking out the animal products. And there's a lot of great replacements on the market now that are becoming more and more affordable due to the demand. So it's a really great time to be vegan because there's endless options, opportunities, people making amazing food on no money. Yeah, it's totally easy and definitely affordable.
Thank you. Yeah, I think, like Marty said, lentils is a good way to start. But,
yep.
Tofu, I mean, our supermarkets in Sydney have just gone crazy with taking up vegan products, taking over the shelves. It's been so fast. In fact, every time I go back in now, there's more and more products. Considering when we first started becoming vegetarian about 30 years ago, and we could only make everything from scratch. Nowadays I think it's a breeze. Yeah. So, Mick, what were your sort of highlight countries? Do you have a favourite country or what?
Oh my goodness, that's a bit like asking me who my favourite child is.
Better answer it.
Yeah, I better answer it. Look, I think, China was extraordinary. China just blew me away from how wonderfully exotic and wonderfully warm the people are. And what's interesting about China is that China's almost in reverse to us in the Western world in regards to they were a plant-based country. Then in the 80s, they introduced animal products as a sign of wealth. So they started, eating animal products in the 80s. And then interestingly, you'll learn this in the China episode, we interview a doctor, the lifestyle diseases as they're known, the major killers, including in Australia, are these lifestyle diseases, whether it be heart disease, diabetes or cancer. That the correlation between the growth of those lifestyle diseases in China correlates almost exactly with the growth in eating animal products. It's quite stark when you see the graphs. So China started really as a plant-based country, then introduced animal products through the 80s, and now are realizing what the effect that is having on the health of the community, and so there's been some strong movement at a government level too in China to change that back again, because it's clear and the science is in, and this is another thing we learned in the series, that the science is now in, peer-reviewed science showing the harmful effects of animal products on people's health. So I think that was a great combination of experience for me being in China and learning. It's almost like they're a blank canvas in a way of learning the effects of eating animal products. So that was and then of course the food. Hey, I'm not going to kid around. The food in China is just extraordinary. So I urge you to stick around for the China episode because, I can still taste the spices and the handmade noodles and and of course, being such a huge population, they now have the most vegans in the world. So,
Yeah, that was delicious. I know that we were showing the series. We had a cinema binge the other night in Sydney and Melbourne, and by the time we get to China, which is episode 5, even people were pretty hungry if they hadn't had something earlier, and the noodles just come dripping out of the plates, and you can sort of almost smell them in the cinema, and you could hear people sort of sigh involuntarily because they eat that food. Yeah, but I think what was surprising for me in each country was just how fast it's growing everywhere in these countries. Like Jason just said, the supermarkets are like so big now, and even the big chains have ranges everywhere, and you can just get so much to choose from. I mean, in our Israeli apartment around the corner, even though there was masses of restaurants to choose from in Tel Aviv, we just go to our local, kind of like a dairy IGA thing around the corner, and you could just get amazing vegan choices. The Mediterranean diet in Israel is just full of vegan choices. So we loved it. We ate amazingly, but also learned a lot because so many people were so generous along the way. But Sarah, I wanted to ask you, because you've got a big vegan baking group that's just growing exponentially. Why do you think it is growing, and what are people doing in the baking space? How is that growing so fast?
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Like, I started out 5 years ago with 0, and it's up to 23,000 people now. And I think what's happening is that people are starting to realize that vegan baking is actually really easy, and they're really getting a lot of enjoyment out of it. And it's kind of like that thing where one person does it and tells everyone else how amazing it is, and then everyone else has to find out why, and then they just join the movement. So it's just been such a beautiful journey. And I think it's kind of infectious. From that group, I mean, we have so many vegan chefs from around the world who will share all their knowledge and secrets to no end and talk to you forever until you perfect that recipe that you want, simply because we care about the movement so much. It's literally the reverse of like other chef worlds where chefs keep everything so close to themselves and they don't want to share any secrets. It's the complete opposite. So we've created such an amazing community, and so many people have become friends. People even go over to each other's houses and bake. it's just been incredible. And also that community has inspired a lot of people to start their own vegan baking businesses, just so many around the world, because people just didn't know how to do it and they wanted to, and they joined the group and they just learned all the skills and made all the friends and got all the information. It's just been magical. So yeah, it's just been such a great movement to be a part of, and it's become very accessible. And easy.
Can you put that your link to that in the comment section so people can go find it? Because I'm sure that people watching tonight, who've seen you cooking, they'll be up for.
Yes, I'll do that as soon as because we're on a different screen, but I'll definitely pop it in there once we're finished.
Oh, cool. Hey, and Mick, another question for you is, what do you think the money that I know the Bloomberg intelligence said it's going to be $162 billion, this growth industry. Why do you think it's tripping so fast? I know we talked to lots of different people about that, but what do you think about that?
Yeah, as we've both said, that it's just been impossible to keep up with the growth numbers and the progress of this movement. But it's fair to say that it's consumer driven. And it's also fair to say that it's industry driven as well. So the consumer is driving the supermarket chains. In other words, the consumers are driving why there are more products on the shelves. But yeah, that's a staggering figure. What is it, 160 billion by 2030? And which basically means that the graph is going like this. It's going up. And who knows when it'll flatten out. So that means that we'll continue to see alternatives to animal products grow. And the other really interesting thing is the insurance companies are starting to really exert some influence as well. I mean, Kaiser Permanente, and again, I'm preempting things you're going to learn in one of the next episodes, but Kaiser Permanente has 20 million people on their books in America. It's a health insurance company. That's a lot of people. And in their brief to their customers for all of those lifestyle diseases that we talked about earlier, the number one thing they want you to do is adopt a plant-based lifestyle. That's a major insurance company in America. So that's come out in the last year or so. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but to me, it's consumer driven and industry driven, because if the insurance companies are doing it, then the industry is clearly wanting to shift towards that. And the other thing that we haven't touched on is the environmental impact of adopting a plant-based diet, because we heard at the 2022 Glasgow UN Summit on Climate Change only last year, where the IPCC report, which is the panel of climate change, in their report from the UN, they list one of the biggest things you can do to reduce your carbon footprint is to adopt a plant-based diet. So there's two really, there's some major reasons why this wonderful movement is only going to continue to grow.
Yeah, I was thinking the other day that sunscreen. When people are warned about the sun, they put on sunscreen and they put their hats on, and it sort of seems like just such a normal thing to do. Like, if there's a chance that we can improve our health, it seems like just a good idea, because it's sensible. I think that's why it's moving so fast. It just seems like if we know the facts now, we've seen science on this, why wouldn't you just put more food, green plant-based food on your plate? In fact, in China, they've got an expression that some of you might not have heard called Plantforward, and that's like just encouraging people in your life or yourself to just put more plants on your plate, basically. And you don't have to even call yourself a vegan or a vegetarian or anything. You don't have to call yourself anything. You just eat more plants. And the numbers out of things like meat-free Mondays, and if all the world went meat-free Monday, we'd save an enormous amount of carbon. We stop using all this fuel, all this water. Like, there's so many studies now to really show that even a meat-free Monday has made a huge difference. And I know that like No Meat May and Veganuary and those big sort of global programs are really doing amazingly around the world now too. Now, Marty, you were at the cinema screenings in Sydney the other night. What sort of feedback did you hear as you were leaving the cinema? Were people into it? How was it? I know there was lots of different sorts of people there. What were people saying?
No, I think they're pre-converted. The choir. We're just happy that there was something on mainstream television that spoke about the lifestyle in a way that was just not radical, not leading edge, nothing like that. It's just a fun travel show, and I think they're like, oh, it's great. I want my dad to see this, and he'll realize I'm not a maniac. And I loved what Sarah said a second ago. You said it's a community of people that care. And I think it's just something zinged in me when you said that, because it's like, yeah, I think everybody sort of realizes, I don't think anyone's arguing with the fact that there's a circle of life in a food chain. I think what we realize now, it's certainly 2022, that the food chain has been industrialized, and that's why it's behind a wall. And we know intuitively or, cerebrally that things are finding their way to us in very forced and questionable ways. And now here we are with, you walk into the supermarket and you got that little aisle of dairy and you've got all this alternate options. I think, I just zinged with the idea that it's community driven. If we can collectively find ways and put our money towards things that create no harm and are just more sustainable and bring a planetary balance back. Maybe that stuff's seeming less radical now because there's a show saying, hey, come with us, we're going to go and visit 5 chefs that do this and they're Michelin level and they're 5-star and here's fast food. And it's just taken the radical factor out of it all a bit, I think. And it's like, yeah, it's just a lifestyle. As Sarah said, you're doing it anyway. So now maybe on Tuesday night, get the meat-free pizza or whatever else, just the small adjustments. But yeah, it's, this all comes because there are people that are aware of it and it's just like, okay, this is how easy it is to implement a better way. And that's the revolution. That's the breakthrough, the simplicity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just before I get back to Mick, I just wanted to say that Sarah Kidd has just put out a fantastic cookbook called The Vegan Bible. And Martin Dingle Wall is just the lead into upcoming Series 1, Cypher, and the other Boned about rescue dogs in LA, which is really just coming out. There's Sarah's book.
There she goes.
It's a thick one.
The Vegan Bible. It's a really underplayed title. Well done.
Vegan Cake Bible. What? It's everything you need to know about cakes.
It's fantastic. Active genius.
And Mick, can you tell us what's going to happen next with the series?
Yeah, let me thank Marty for being a great host too. I know you jumped in there, Marty, and hosted this show so willingly, and thank you for saying yes. You did a great job, and I hope we didn't, boss you around too much. And thanks, Sarah, for being part of it as well, especially during the pandemic. Eatingplants.tv is where it's all happening. Please, follow the socials and find out. It's already screened on mainstream television here in Australia, which is extraordinary, on SBS. So we're very, very pleased about that. And look, hats off to Kate and myself for making it mainstream. That was always our intention. Our intention was always to make it palatable to mainstream. And it's interesting that it's now during a positive, when we need something positive, that here we have a series that's positive. It's being distributed around the world by TVF in the UK, who are selling it to TV networks around the world. And we're also offering it online as well, so you can people can stream it off eatingplans.tv. But yeah, stay with us, and stay on the journey. Who knows? We might even, as Marty said in that closing, we might even do a series 2. But so stay tuned to this to our socials to find out more.
You should certainly be giving yourself a shout out about the fact that this year the Golden Globes is, for the first time, got a full vegan menu, and that you guys were the feature story on the front page of the Golden Globes, Hollywood Foreign Press. How you guys knew to time that is your own intuitive skill set. But man, you can't buy that kind of attention, and that's what happens when you're doing the work. So you guys.
Yeah, there was interesting timing there, wasn't it? And hats off to our LA publicist, Nadine Jolson, who, is the best. And yeah, to be a lead story in the Golden Globes was obviously Yeah, no, don't worry. We love it, and we'll use it in our publicity.
I just wanted to say the last thing on outreach is just join us on all our social media, of course. But the great thing we really have loved doing with Kangaroo in this series is offering people a chance to do community screenings because they're just a fun way to get together in your community. You could try out one of the vegan dishes on the website. You can watch 3 episodes, have a break, watch another 3 episodes, do it at your school, at your workplace, and that's all going to be available on our website. So that'll be a really fun thing to do, just to start a conversation and, get together with your community. But right now, we are excited because you can join us which is really the first episode on this series when you watch it online, which is Eating Plants America. Thanks so much, Marty. Thanks so much, Sarah. And sit back and enjoy, everyone, the new episode, Eating Plants America. Bye.